Welcome, dear listeners, to a journey that delves into the meaning of the well-known quote, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results." This profound saying, often attributed to the brilliant mind of Albert Einstein, gives us a unique perspective on our actions and their consequences. Let's consider the term insanity. It's a strong word, often associated with mental illness. But in the context of our quote, it refers more broadly to behavior that defies logic or reason. Now pair that with the idea of repetition. Doing the same thing repeatedly while expecting a different outcome seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? This quote does not simply define insanity, it underscores the importance of change and adaptation in our lives. The ability to adjust our actions based on their results is fundamental to growth and progress. As we venture further, remember that this quote serves as a stark reminder of the importance of change and adaptation in our lives. Let's dissect this profound statement, starting with the term insanity. In common parlance, insanity often refers to severe mental illness, but in the context of this quote, it takes on a slightly different meaning. Here, insanity is used to describe a pattern of behavior that is irrational or nonsensical, not in terms of mental health, but in relation to logical thinking and decision-making. So, what does this quote mean when it talks about doing the same thing over and over? It's a poignant way of illustrating a lack of change or adaptation. It's about repeating the same actions, the same habits, or the same patterns, regardless of whether they're working or not. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole over and over again without ever considering that the peg or the hole might need to change. Now let's look at the phrase, expecting different results. This is where the quote really hits home. It's about the unrealistic expectations some people hold, despite their actions remaining the same. It's like expecting to win the lottery without buying a ticket, or hoping to get fit without changing your diet or exercise routine. The expectation of a different outcome, despite no change in action, is a sure sign of irrational thinking. But let's not be too harsh here. We've all been guilty of this at some point. It's human nature to hope for the best, even against the odds. But this quote serves as a reminder that hope alone is not a strategy. Action, change, and adaptation are necessary to achieve our desired outcomes. So we see that this quote is more than a simple statement. It's a critique of stubbornness, of refusal to adapt, of unrealistic expectations. It's a wake-up call to anyone stuck in a loop of unproductive behavior, urging us to change our actions if we want to change our results. Now, how does this quote apply to our real-life situations? Well, let's delve into that, shall we? Consider the work environment. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a job performing the same tasks day in and day out, yet expecting a promotion or a raise? It's like being a hamster running on its wheel, going nowhere fast. To break this cycle, one must adapt, learn new skills, and actively seek opportunities for growth. Now let's switch gears and look at relationships. Ever found yourself caught in a loop of arguments over the same issues? It's easy to fall into the trap of expecting different outcomes while repeating the same behaviors. But just as a potter molds clay into a pot, we need to shape and change our actions to create healthier relationships. Personal growth is another area where this quote rings true. Many of us set ambitious goals for ourselves, like learning a new language or mastering a musical instrument. Yet we often fall into the trap of repeating the same ineffective learning techniques, and then we wonder why we're not improving. To truly grow, we need to step outside our comfort zones, experiment with different approaches, and embrace the learning process. And what about health and fitness? Ever found yourself stuck in a workout rut, doing the same exercises over and over, yet expecting to see different results? The truth is, our bodies adapt to routines, and progress can plateau. To overcome this, we need to mix up our workouts, challenge our bodies in new ways, and adjust our nutrition to support our fitness goals. Now, it's crucial to remember that this quote isn't advocating for never repeating actions. It's about recognizing when an approach isn't working and having the courage to change it. It's about learning from our mistakes, adapting to new circumstances, and evolving our strategies. Remember, the key to progress isn't in repeating actions blindly, but in learning, adapting, and evolving. So how can we overcome this insanity that Einstein so eloquently described? It all starts with self-awareness. Being aware of our actions and their outcomes is the first step towards breaking the cycle. If we keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, we're not learning from our experiences. We have to be willing to learn from our mistakes. When we stumble, it's not a sign of failure, but a lesson. Each misstep, each stumble, each fall, it's an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to improve. But self-awareness and learning from our mistakes won't be enough if we're not willing to change. Change is scary, yes, but it's necessary. If our actions are not yielding the results we desire, we need to change them. We need to break the cycle, step out of our comfort zones, and embrace change. In essence, to escape this insanity, we must be willing to change our actions, to adapt and to grow. As we draw this discussion to a close, let's summarize what we've learned. We've dissected a thought-provoking quote, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results." This saying is more than just a collection of words. It is a powerful insight that can transform our lives. We've explored its deep significance, understanding that the essence of insanity is not about mental health, but rather about our approach to challenges and how we handle failure. It's about the futile cycle of repeating the same actions and expecting a different outcome. We've also delved into real-life applications, seeing how this concept applies in various aspects of our lives, from personal growth to work habits. Then we discussed ways to overcome this insanity by embracing change, learning from our mistakes, and daring to step outside our comfort zones. Remember, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So dare to change, dare to grow, and dare to achieve your desired results. Until next time, keep evolving.